So they used to say to the companions, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, salamu alaikum, fast becoming Samu alaikum, and they mean death be upon you. And the companions knew that, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew that. They were hostile tribes, some of them. So he was walking with Aisha, one of them passes and says, Samu alaikum. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, wa alaikum, and upon you. It's not laughing, wallahi. But Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, who was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says, wa alaikum Samu, wa ghadib Allahu alaikum, wa la'anakum, wa adbalakum adaban azima, something like that. Then Aisha radiallahu ta'ala replied, and may death be upon you, and the anger and the wrath of Allah Azzawajal. She was hurt. And that's Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not just her husband. No, that's Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then, subhanAllah, in this occasion, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had this ocean of peace, subhanAllah. He says to Aisha, Mahlan ya Aisha. Mahlan ya Aisha. In other words, like what? Take it easy, Aisha. Mahlan ya Aisha.
The Prophet ﷺ, people were rude to him. The desert Arabs were rude to him. And he never returned their rudeness with rudeness. He smiled in their faces. He returned their bad manners with good character. And this is what he taught us to do with people. Patience. When the woman who was in the graveyard and she was mourning over, and the Messenger of Allah passed by her, and he said that this is a Museba and you should be patient. And she said, you didn't have the tribulation that I had. That's how she answered him. And he just left her. Now look at the character there. He didn't say, don't you know who I am? I'm the Messenger of Allah. You can't talk to me like that. He didn't say that. He saw she was Musaf. She was in tribulation. He left her to be in her tribulation. He gave her nasiha and she didn't accept it, but he recognized her psychological state. She was in a state that it was not useful or beneficial to continue with her, and so he left her. This is wisdom. This is Hikma. And then he went to his house and somebody came by and he said, don't you know who that was? That was the Messenger of Allah. Suddenly remorse entered her heart. Astaghfirullah. And she went to his house and knocked on the door. Yara Solallah, I didn't know it was you. Patience that Allah wants is at that point. That's the point. Allah does not want you to lose control. To forgive your brother for Allah's sake. To forgive your sister for Allah's sake. Not for them. To do it for Allah Subhanawatta. Really. There's people in here that haven't talked to their brother or their sister, or some of them to their mothers and their fathers. Don't be that person. Don't cut off your bloodship bonds. Don't be that person. Do it for the sake of Allah. And a man came to the Messenger of Allah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, asilu akhi wa yaqta'uni, u'tihi wa yamna'uni, uwasiluhu wa la yuwasiluhu. I give him, he withholds. I come to him, he cuts me off. What should I do? He said, that is silat al-rahm. That what you're doing is the right thing, and continue to do it even though he's cutting you off. That's Islam. That's Islam. And it's hard. Don't think this is an easy religion.
Rasulullah will come to the house in the noontime. He used to have something called qaylula. Putting his head and where? In the laps of Aisha. Resting his head in her lap. That's how close they were. She said sometimes when he used to do i'tikaf, he will give her his head because the masjid is close to his room, and she will work in his head. You know, braid his hair. They sit together and eat. Rasulullah take a piece of food, bite of food, he put something in her mouth, something in his mouth. He will call her with beautiful names. Then he said, Ya Humayra, Ya bint al-Siddiq, beautiful names. He said, or the daughter of the trustworthy, or the honest, meaning a Siddiq. He called Aisha, Ya Aish, this is a nickname. He named Aisha, he called her Aish. Beautiful ways of calling her. Not only that, Sayyidah Aisha said, Rasul sallallahu, alaihi, wasallam, he hint, if he doesn't like something, he will not say, I don't like this. Okay? Give a hint.